Good morning. I'm just jumping on because I just had something that I wanted to share with you quickly, something I wanted to say, and something that is very, very obvious. As a person that has great interest in the occult and the spiritual world and humanity in a way, I mean, you have to be interested in humanity to be interested in this type of stuff. I just turned on like the TV the other day, and I don't usually do this much, but not anymore since lockdowns. But you'll notice on Netflix that, or Amazon, or Stan, or Binge, or like whatever, Paramount, whatever, like there's so many streaming services now. One of the things that you will notice, especially on Netflix, is that all of the content is horror based. No joke. I mean, come on, have a look at it. Like, it's all negative horror bullshit. And something that just struck me as obvious, if it's not sexually based, if it's not porn based, that is demonic. What it does is this dark interest in all of this sick horror shit raises, or should I say, lowers the vibration of the human consciousness to the demonic world, allowing the demonic to have greater access to you through the mind, because demons live in the realm of the mind. Angels live in the realm of the mind. So what you're aligning yourself with visually, and I don't care what context it is, whether it is through comic, whether it's through movies and TV shows, this interest in this dark stuff is a porthole and a link and a bridge to fear. You know, I've always been very, very cautious around people that are interested or obsessed with horror films. A lot of them have very dark, repressed childhood things that have taken place in their life, and they come back as an adult to try and regain some level of, we reconnect to our childhood as we get older, as an adult, to regain control and the control dynamic, because that's what, the subconscious mind's trying to do. It's trying to understand everything and not become the victim of it. So it comes back usually as the perpetrator of it. That way it can still be in control, if that makes any sense. If you know anything about psychology, you'll understand that that's a big part of any level of dom-sub dynamics, which is just nothing more than sadomasochism and abuse under the guise of play and fun. But yeah, I mean, it's just so obvious. And I mean, can you see this? I mean, come on, like every show, it got to a point where I was actually going through every single show that's popping up is horror based. And it's like modern day society has this real dark interest and obsession with this kind of infantilizing horror genre that is really not good for us. It's not good for the zeitgeist. It's so fucking negative. I mean, it's just so obvious. At this point, it's almost like they put it out so hard and so strongly that you're so dumb to the people that it's like you're so dumb that it's so obvious that it's almost comical that people can't even see it, because they're just so conditioned to watch and consume this stuff, and it desensitizes you. Did anyone tell you today that it's not healthy to watch and consume content that is of that nature? Can you not see that there's clearly an agenda there? Can you not see? Because the average person, the average normie doesn't understand that the vibration that you hold in your head and the thoughts in your head shape your reality. And if people, obviously network programming, blah, 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 can control the narrative of the majority, well, then they control the future of the people. That's what television is. It's all distraction, right? But it's like, if they can control that, then they can control the collective through programming and propaganda and conditioning and this level of shit. It's so fucking there. Like, can't you see this? Like, it worries me that if when I go online and I went, you know what, I'm just going to jump online myself this morning and just see who else is actually talking about this. And there's not one video that I can see where people are saying, like, did you know consuming like really graphic horror film and content and TV shows is really, really not healthy for a person, especially a kid? It's same as porn. It just desensitizes you. And from an occult point of view, that's why demons love porn. Because it's parasocial, it's parasitic. It's consuming and abandoning and using and harming another person and reductionizing and reducing someone into a toy or a doll that you play with. That is not wholesome. That is not good for the soul. That's not healthy for a child, like anyone, to be consuming that. And I'm going to be doing a video talking about my thoughts on porn and why demons in the demonic world and the lower astral love pornography. I can actually tell you a story about a porno tape that was actually connected and not possessed, because an object can't be really possessed. It's more of a conduit that's used to possess others, because the demonic world can't actually directly possess. It usually does it through like golems or dolls or things like that of that nature. But, I can share a story with you, and I will in up and coming videos, potentially maybe even on my Patreon, just sharing that with you, that, these things are very serious stuff and it's very real. And people would say, oh, it's just a movie. Yeah, but why do you need to watch some girl getting stalked by an evil clown? Why do you need to watch, why? What is it about this, the infantilizing violence and horror of being murdered or something like that? Can't you see that? It's just, that's ridiculous. That's not healthy. That's not stable. I get watching parts. I'm not saying to turn away from the violent nature of humans, because we are inherently violent. I get that. Look at the wars. Look at what we do to each other. Horrendous. What I'm merely saying is this can't be good. And the more that we bond with this type of material, the closer the demonic world gets to you. It's a porthole that's coming through the television into your mind to lower our consciousness lower and lower and lower, until we're so desensitized that that's normal. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. Enough said. I'm making my point. If you want to leave a comment below, please do so. Pornography and horror is super dangerous. It's very, very destructive. And I will be doing a video talking about pornography and the dangers of it, and the sex work industry, and how humans relate to each other in their way of consuming each other and then ghosting each other and abandoning each other and using each other. This is not the way. It's not. And that's why I'm coming down so hard on this, that, I'm canceling my subscriptions. Why the hell would I want to have that in my house? Of what value is that to me on a spiritual level? It's about control. It's about desensitizing. It's so obvious, guys. Come the fuck on. Yeah. Okay. You don't need to put your adrenal glands, you don't need to put your nervous system through, a violent film, a violent scene. I'm not saying just shy away from it and pretend it doesn't exist, because it so does, but we don't need to live in it. We don't need to consume it. And we certainly don't need to have streaming platforms where all they have is this. Because the thing is, the algorithm responds to the majority, and it kind of influences us, into these like playing characters and shit. Yet again, another video I want to talk about why people dress up in characters and put on masks and characters, because they can, I'll do another one explaining it more in more detail if anyone would actually care to listen to the truth. But yeah, the truth can be quite scary, and I can assure you the truth about all this is more scary than the horror itself. All right, I'll leave it here. I hope you're having a really good day, and thank you for your time. Bye.